my friends, glad to see you made it. For we have gathered here today in the name of Jesus Christ. Glory be to God, He's alive. Today, my friends, I don't really have a Bible story to tell, but just want to share a little story with you. You know, that's the thing we are always asking ourselves, and I think we're always wondering what's going on in the world. We're asking the same question over and over, and what is the definition of love? Because in this world, it seems like it's being lost every day. You know, it's been so distorted that even when if real true love ever walked in the door, I'm not even sure if that is love, because that's how broken and distorted love is. And so I want to tell you a little story. And so let us begin with the prayer, and I'll tell you this short story. I'm going to try and keep this video short so that y'all can keep your interest in something, or focus your life on something good and positive and worthy of being called good, worthy of being a part of it. So let us pray. Heavenly Father, our Father who lives in heaven, we come to you through the name which you have given us, the only name by which any man can be saved, healed, cured, comforted through, and that's through the name of Jesus Christ. Jesus, the anointed one. Yeshua HaMashiach, Yeshua the Messiah. To you, Lord, we come, asking for wisdom and guidance. Bring us ever closer to truth, to the absolute truth. Rain your love upon us. Let our song be a great song, a new song, and place this song into our heart. That it just is as the rain falls from heaven, and it brings moisture to a parched dry land. I ask, Father, that you would allow our lives to bring hope to those who are sitting without hope. We know you hear every word we say, even those words that are in secret, that no man can hear or has ever been spoken. So we ask that you would guide us into a way of love, so that Christ in us can be the answer to the prayer. In the same way you answered us, in the same way you healed and cured us. Let our life shine bright for those seeking hope. In the holiest of all names, in the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. Now, I want to tell you a little story. You know, that's the thing. There's this little boy, and he's like 12 years old, this little boy. And he's a young man, you know, about that tall, and he's blind. He's blind. He's blind from birth, and he lives in this little tiny village out in the countryside where the grass grows green, and everything is nice, and all the ladies are beautiful, and it's a place of wonders, joy, and laughter. This little village out in the countryside. Right? And one day, these dirty, rotten, evil people who are full of hate, anger, destruction, come into this village. And they kill everybody in the village. And everybody they didn't kill in the village, that they took them off and took them away into slavery. Everybody. But with this little boy who's blind. Because the little boy, he couldn't see anything, but boy, he could hear. And all he could hear was the screaming and the crying and the tears of those who were screaming for help. Couldn't see him, but he could hear it. So he hid himself. He went and hid. And while he was searching and seeking for a place to hide, lo and behold, he finds this little girl, and this little girl is hiding in this corner of this abandoned building, and it's dark, very dark. She's just hiding there. Little boy couldn't see her, nobody could see her, but the little boy didn't need to see her because he was blind, yet he had ears that could hear very well. Finds this little girl, hearing her weeping and crying. Says to her, "What's the matter, little girl?" Right? "Oh, I was running off to hide for all these people came and to destroy our town. And I fell, broke my legs. I can't move. I'm lame." Little boy is, "Well, I'm pretty sure we're the only two left. I can't see." He says to the little girl, "Hey, I know. You get on my back. And you be my vision. You carry my vision. And I will carry your body." Right? At first, the little bumpy road, it took a little while to get used to that, having somebody else be your eyes while you were their legs. But through their will and determination to not give up, they were able to go through ravines and tunnels, go through the wilderness. They were able to walk upstairs, go through many doorways. And then all of a sudden they came to this broken down castle. This castle that was completely broken. And it was inside that broken castle that they found refuge, a place of safety, a place where there was no fear of those monsters, demons, nasty people. Right? And that's the thing. It takes two broken people to come together to become one whole person. Right? And isn't it amazing that Jesus Christ, being the broken castle, a place of refuge, brings broken people together so they may be whole, so they may be one. See, it's God, a broken God, came to repair broken people. See, Jesus Christ says to us, little girl, little boy, carry my vision, and I will carry your body. Right? Carry my vision. I'll carry your weakness. Let us be one, says God. Say, what is your vision? That no man be left behind. No matter how broken you are. That's the thing. Sometimes we think we're very small and little, and who could care about us? Who would ever love me? But just know and remember always, you can have a room full of giant people. You can have a room full of presidents. You can have a room full of the greatest people on earth. And one mosquito go flying in that room, and everybody knows there's a mosquito in there. Right? So God knows all. Even the mosquito. That's the thing. Is Jesus wants to carry our inability to not be broken by giving us the ability to see that God uses broken people to show His greatness. To show His greatness. And the vision He wishes to carry is our health, our our inability to know not to be broken. I want to carry that for you, says Jesus. Let me carry that for you. All you got to do is love. See, everybody who loves Jesus Christ loves me. And Jesus Christ always hears my prayers. Hears every word I say. See, He lives in you. And that's why you're here today. Right? What is love? What is love? Love is the willingness to lay down your life for a friend. Jesus Christ says, this is the love I'm seeking. The willingness not to lay down your life for a friend, or your family, or even a person who can say thank you. But this is love. Lay down your life for somebody who hates you, who's your enemy, who despises you. Right? We can all take pride or give pride to somebody. Satan killed Jesus. Satan hates Jesus. This man hated Jesus. And they hate everything, right? And Jesus says, yeah, but let me show you the power of love. No nails hold me to a cross. I did it willingly. I could have came off the cross just like they wanted, so I could save myself and some of them. But I was greedy, says Jesus. He says, I wanted to save them all. He says, I'm full of greed. Is that a sin? That I'm so greedy, says Jesus, that I died for them all? We look into the world today and we see people being murdered and hurt and destroyed for no good reason. And we say, boy, if Jesus Christ don't hurry up and come and bring that rod of justice with him in his right hand, I'm going to have to take action for myself. I just can't stand to see the murder and the violence anymore. Right? Don't we believe Jesus is in control? Because Jesus says this, don't resist evil. Pray for those enemies. Love your enemy. Right? He says, don't stop evil. He says, don't stop wickedness. Don't stop a righteous man from being righteous. Don't stop a holy man from being holy. Don't. Trust me, says him. Trust me. He knows what he's doing. You know, that's the thing. We complain a lot about our lives. We can always find something wrong. Something inadequate. Something not good enough. You know, we can always find a reason to join the army. And we can always find a reason to put out hate with more hate. You know, that's the thing. Nobody can have an army unless you join the army. And nobody can pull the trigger of a gun unless you pull the trigger. And hate can't overcome hate. Darkness can't overcome darkness. Only love can do that. Only love. You know, that's the thing. Sure, we love to wipe murder and hate and everything off the earth. But what would be left if we did? Right? See, that's the thing of a man in his nature. So long as he has the ability to destroy, he destroys. But so long as the sons of God are here, destruction will come to an end. Right? The day is here. where no evil, no rioting, no hate, no murder can be done, because we all see it. And we're ready to stop it. The only problem is, this is the only way we can stop it. It's by agreeing with God. We have to agree with God. See, God made one son, Adam. From Adam came Eve. Right? Male and female, he made us. Just like him. That's what God did. And we can't get through this life unless we are willing to pick one another up and carry each other. And carry each other into the promise. And the promise is that one day all hate will be gone. And we will be replaced by love. Let us start today. What's holding us back from starting today? You know, we can look at it and say, yeah, I'd sure like to join the rioting. I'd sure like to join the protesting. I'd sure like to join the army. Putting an end to terrorism, putting an end to hate, violence, and murder. But this is what Jesus says. Everyone they murder is right here with me. And you're mad? Everyone they murder, because our father was the father of that which was a victim of murder. Now my sons will be victims of murder. For no son is greater than the master or their father. And he says, all them victims in the world being squashed and squished under the foot of hate and anger, trampled on it as though it was like the grass of the fields. Yeah. Can we really be angry when it was their actions that put our loved ones into heaven? Jesus says, forgive your brother from your heart, and God will forgive you. Forgive your brother from your heart, and God will release you from anxiety, from worry and stress. You know, that's the thing. When God's in control, it doesn't matter who the leaders of the nation are. Because all leaders of the nations are handpicked by God. You want a better leader? Be a more faithful person. See, we got to believe it. We got to believe that the only way a blind boy and a lame girl are going to get through this world is if we're willing to do it together. Together. For that's the gathering. We can call it church, or we can call it the gathering. And the gathering is when we are willing to walk together as though we were one body, of one flesh, carrying the vision of God's broken child. You know, that's the thing. Is the least on earth are the greatest in heaven. And we shouldn't be angry with that. Otherwise, we're angry with God. You know, if we really loved them, this is how we would respond to that violence, hate, and anger. Just like Jesus. This is what he says. Pick up your cross and follow me. Right? Pick up your cross and follow me. You say, what? Yeah. While I was walking around being spat on, yelled at, and had my beard pulled out, I cured anyway. Yeah. When they were yelling at me, calling me names, I went out and I helped people anyway. In fact, when they were ready to destroy my body, I never even gave them a thought of what they were doing. I just continued healing people. I continued helping people. I continued loving people. In fact, everybody and anybody who came to me got what they wanted. Right? Did it anyway. Yeah, no man's will is the will to be a doormat to this world. But it is God's will. It's God's will. That no man perished. You know, that's the thing. When sin makes us so sick, we can't even stand to look at it anymore. Sure, Jesus forgives us and washes away sin. But the effects of sin and the reality of it are so painful, so disgusting. Isn't there a day come in our life when we would say, like Jesus, I'd rather die for God than live on this earth another day. Right? Being willing to lay your life down for a friend. You know? That's the thing, is there's many people in the world today who are sitting in a room, in the dark corner, in a dark place, hiding. Because of the fear. Fear. That they can't say it. They can't do it. They say what? They can't say it to themselves. This is where it comes. I can't say to myself, I'm forgiven. I'm forgiven. Right? I'm forgiven for getting myself broken. I'm forgiven for not having the power to do anything about my city or village, my loved ones. I'm powerless. I'm broken. I'm nothing without God. And God comes to us while we're in a dark spot. And He says, no words go unheard. I love you. I hear all your words. And He cares for you. Right? And it's those who cry for help. Those are the ones that God's listening to. Those who can't forgive themselves. Hey, you know, that's the thing, is you want to change the world? You remind them. Everybody who loves me loves Jesus Christ, the one who sent me. Because I know He lives in you. There's this guy, he has his son is murdered, cut into pieces. Cut into pieces. But by this man who's a mass murderer, killed many people. And they had a whole courtroom full of people who said they were professing Christians, and hate and anger for this murderer. You deserve hell. You deserve death. You deserve to live 80 years, get death, get hell, and more and more. And you're wicked, you are evil, and the murderers just stand there strong, man, like a tiger. And the old man comes up and looks like Santa Claus kind of guy, and he says, you know, I know you're the one who killed my son, and I know everybody in this courtroom wants to see you burn in the fiery pits of hell. But I want you to know, you know, it's been tough. You've tested tested me. But I want you to know, in order for me to believe this word with all my heart, mind, and soul, I gotta tell you, man, you're forgiven. And the murderer breaks down, cries. Breaks him down and cries. Because this is the power of God. Justice. That the man, I can believe every word you guys are saying. But with all my heart, mind, and soul, I wished I could believe that old man. And that's what broke his own heart, convicting him of the truth. I really wished I could believe the truth, that I'm forgiven. But I cannot forgive myself. No more than anyone else in that courtroom. Right. And Jesus Christ says, when the Son sets you free, then free indeed you are. Right? Only those who can believe it are those who are truly it. No murderers are in heaven. That's why you don't bother playing God. God already knew what their deeds would be before we got here. He told us, everybody, this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to happen. And when it happens, don't be afraid. Because I know all, says God. I'm in control, says God. They may hate you, they may hurt you, they may destroy you. Right? But they cannot take away God's love from you. And in fact, the one sin that God hates the most is the destruction of His temple. Our own bodies. And you say, that's why I gotta quit smoking and drinking. I'm destroying my temple. No, man, you don't have that power. Satan, the deceiver, destroyed the temple in the beginning. And we've just been suffering the side effects of it ever since. Plus the power of God and love. Right? They started out with 2. If Satan could kill every human being on earth, he would. Yet we're 7 billion strong today. Right? How does that work? That's the power of God's presence here on earth. See, when we're complaining and need to take control, that's what we're saying is God is not with us. God is not here. Right? It's when we can come to completion in our faith and say, hey, I can boldly stand and have no fear of flesh, have no fear of sin, have no fear of war, have no fear of cancer, I have no fear of being left behind. I have no fear. There's no fear, both seen and unseen, because God is with me. And if God stands at my right hand, what can man do to me? Right? And if we're allowing men in their behavior to control over me, then they're winning. Because our battle isn't against flesh and blood. Our battle is in our mind of whether we want to agree with God. For God said, I so loved the world, I gave my one and only Son, so that those who believe in Him will have eternal life. Right? said the darkness would not come to the light. Because it was afraid. It was afraid of the light. It was afraid to be judged. It was afraid to be destroyed. It was afraid. And you know why it was afraid? Because it knew its deeds were evil. Right? So there's only one sin. Not believing in God. And this is what God's word says. You're my son. You're my daughter. Loved and cared for. And you can say, well, Dave, I reject you and you're a crazy man, needs medicine. It's okay. It's okay. You need a doctor. And there's no better guy to give medicine than a guy who needs medicine. He knows all about it, right? Ain't that what the doctors do? Doctors are kings of Prozac and Zoloft. And every pill out there. They must be the biggest drug addicts out there because only a drug addict knows an user. Or maybe it's only a user knows a drug dealer. One of those. Oh yeah, it's only a user who loses drugs. Or we could get healed by Jesus Christ right here today, if you wish. And never be controlled by that false sense of security anymore. Because here's the truth. You're not sick. You're not sick. You're going to be okay. Life's going to get better. And life's going to turn around. Because it is God's will to not hurt you or harm you, but to prosper you. And see to it that your eternal life is securely stuck in His hand. Well, that's the thing we forget is, if we're in the hand of God, right, God blows out stars out of His nostril. And if we're in that hand, what would take us out of that hand? Could our unbelief take us out of that hand? Could our unfaithfulness take us out of that hand? Because that's the thing. Jesus came for that which was lost. And He made sure that the whole world was lost, so that the whole world may be saved. Sure, we've all fallen short of the glory of God. But in that's where God's strength comes to its fullness. For when we are weak, He is strong. So remember that. And just climb onto the back of our Lord. Carry His vision. Well, He carries our bodies. As we come together to be a part of putting an end to the worthlessness human beings have received while we've been walking on this earth. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that all together, every one of you, across the world, have decided that paper has greater value than a human being. It's crazy. And the only thing that gives that piece of paper value is my willingness to believe a lie. A lie. And that's what Jesus came to bring to reality, not only in our lives today, but back there 2,000 years ago. So let me show you the true value of a human being. And not just any human being, but the least of human beings. There's no greater value on earth than a man made in God's image. No greater value. So I want you to remember that. Join me next time in our next video. We'll be going over chapters 34 from the book of Genesis, and we'll be talking about Dinah. the first daughter born to Abraham's promise. Yeah, they had women and other women and stuff, but they were grafted into the kingdom, where Dinah is the very first daughter. Very first daughter born into the promise of Abraham. So we want to speak about Dinah. There's only one chapter about Dinah, but it's an important one. It's an important one. In the chapters 34 and the next few chapters, as we go through Joseph's life, Jacob's life, and the 12 brothers' lives, in that we come to find that right there is the unveiling of the book of Proverbs. In the book of Proverbs, we're going to find all those stories and all the things that they're talking about in the book of Proverbs right there in a visual thing that we could see. Like, what does it look like? See, that's the thing with Proverbs. It's about God being the natural law. You know, Paul says, you know, everything's lawful for us. We're forgiven of all sin. Sure, we can walk around and murder and hate and rape, and we're covered in grace. We can do whatever we want, man. That's grace. Right? But Paul says, God forbid we did that. That would be the stupidest thing we could ever think of. In fact, we're going to establish the law. And here in these chapters, we begin to see how the law is beginning to become established. And that's the thing in our world today. We can't become complacent. Can't become complacent. You know, that's the thing with God. As we see all across America, is he wiping out town after town after town. He burned them down with fire at night and in a cloud and a pillar of tornadoes during the day. Tears them down, rips them down. Right? Not many lives are lost, but all the property is lost. All the value, all your gods and all your trophies are being lost. And here we get to see right here in chapters 34, and that as they go through a lot of problems there, as Dinah is raped, and what they come to recognize or find out is we got false gods within us. And we got to burn all false gods, false everythings, right? And he even makes the girls and all the girls take their earrings off. And the earrings are a sign of slavery. Back in 4,000 years ago, you'd wear your earring and you'd have a pierced hole. And unlike, you know, because back then it wasn't race-driven slavery. It was just slavery for anybody who was weak. And so they'd pierce your ears and everybody see, oh, slave! And Jacob says, take all that off. Take all that stuff off. All the jewelry off. And they burned or took all the gods and placed them under a tree and hid all that stuff. So we'll be going over that. And speaking of that, because that's the thing. When God comes in his fire, in his glory, in his love, he's a jealous God, and he's jealous for you. He's jealous for you. You know, we see it over and over through the Bible as God's bride, God's daughter, God's wife is a prostitute, and now it's messing around and being bad, and we're like, no, that's not Jesus' bride. Yeah, it is. The disobedient one. The disobedient one. And we come here to see that how God protects His. And this is how He begins to protect His. It's the establishment of the law. Establishment of the law. Yeah, you have the ability to sin. As we see, these boys are some nasty characters. Alright? So God places the law. And He keeps them from sinning. It establishes the difference between good and evil. So that evil cannot take over and evil cannot reign. Sure, I may have been walking in evil or walking in darkness at one point in my life. But now that I know the difference, now that I've tasted what is good, right? Let us live and abide in that which is good. And the only way to put an end to war is to believe in God. Because this is in the 10 Commandments where it says, thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. Right? And I know the United States of America says, well, you shall not kill unless you wear my coat. And then he's got this coat, and they're wearing their coat, and he's got his flag on his coat, and their name on their coat, and their image on their coat. Now you can kill. You want to put an end to war on earth? Don't enter there. Don't enter there. Doesn't matter. You can. Guns don't kill. People do. It's a heart problem. Heart problem. The same murderer on the enemy side has the same heart problem you have on the allied side. And the problem is believing the answer to hate is killing it. Killing it. Jesus Christ says this is the answer. This is the answer to hate and war and violence. Right? He picked up his cross and he carried that sucker right down to Calvary, and all the women were crying. And, what are you crying for, woman? Quit your weeping, quit your tears. Rejoice with me. What? Rejoice with me. Right? That's the thing. There is a better way. There is a better life. And there is the truth. And if we're willing to follow that way, that life and that truth, the problems of the world will melt away like the chaff in the wind. And that's God's promise for you today. See you next time.
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. It followed her to school one day, school one day, school one day. It followed her to school one day, which was against the rules. It made the children laugh and play, laugh and play, laugh and play. It made the children laugh and play to see a lamb at school. And so the teacher turned it out, turned it out, turned it out. And so the teacher turned it out, but still it lingered near, and waited patiently about, and waited patiently about till Mary did appear. Why does the lamb love Mary so, Mary so, Mary so? Why does the lamb love Mary so? The eager children cried. Why Mary loves the lamb, you know, lamb, you know, lamb, you know. Why Mary loves the lamb, you know, the teacher did reply. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow.